One more night to get this. Million nights just like this. Let's get down to business.
So it kicked you out, and I tried to go out and come back in, and then I have no clue what happened.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi is not great. I'm sure yours is worse. So we'll just ignore it. We'll
For
forget about
sure,
it.
dude.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's talk. So, do you want to start in Nashville? Should we start there?
Yeah, dude. Derrick Henry coming back.
There's so many games this week where I kind of I'm thinking to myself, it might go either way because I think, dude, Cincinnati, I know they're young and inexperienced, but they are electric on the offensive side. Like they have everything they need. Defensively, they're better than they've been in years past. But just
Their defensive line is banged up, though.
yeah. I was about to say Justin Herbert. No, you're right about their D line. I will say the Trey Hendrickson thing. I know he.
Justin Herbert, Jesus, put some respect on Joey
Yeah,
B's name, my
sorry.
guy.
They're in the same class. No, but if Trey Hendrickson left the game with an injury last week, right, against the Raiders, or am I? I would.
Hendrickson should play this
Yeah,
week
yeah.
from different reports.
Yeah, so they need him. That's big. But like Derrick Henry was okay today. It was his first contact, practice or whatever. And he came out of that fine. So you know, I could see this. It wouldn't be a surprise if Cincinnati won. But I don't know, man.
Having Derrick Henry back, I mean, that's just a force within itself.
That's why.
Dude. I mean,
yeah.
Plus that Titans defense. Did you see that Vrabel with what was it, 8+ days of rest is 8-0?
Oh yeah. Who gave me that? Was it Pat? I heard. I think maybe it was on Pat's show. I heard that. Vrabel is. I still think LaFleur should win Coach of the Year, but if he doesn't, it should be Mike Vrabel. I think Mike Vrabel's done an unbelievable job, and I mean this is the healthiest they've probably been all year with Julio, and I think they're in fantastic shape, and I think they're kind of like the Packers in the sense that, they're getting. So Derrick Henry was their one lone big guy who's hurt. If he plays well, man, obviously they're gonna win. That's how I see it. If he has no strings attached, all the handcuffs are off him. If he goes 30, if he touches the ball 30 times for 200 yards or however many yards he goes for, they're gonna handle it. And it's the same thing with the Packers. All those guys who are injured, they should be fine too. But that is the thing. It depends because number one seeds who have the bye, you get a little nervous. Okay, I'm nervous. We'll talk about that later. But
because it hasn't worked out in the past.
Yes,
for you.
exactly. And they're teams that have buys and they come out and they come out slow. Communication sucks. And they just fail to make plays. We'll see. We'll just see what happens with that. But Tennessee, Cincinnati, I think it could go either way. I think Cincinnati could surprise people. I think when you play in the wild card round, I think for example, San Francisco, they had to play a must-win game against LA in week 18. So they already had to get the gears rolling a little bit. And then they have to do it again last week and they win. I think it's the same thing with Cincinnati. They didn't necessarily have to play a must-win game in the final week of the year against Cleveland. But, obviously you play against Vegas, you win that game. Zach Taylor and, a couple guys are at a bar giving a game ball to the city of Cincinnati because of the fans. And, they have all that energy going. So it wouldn't surprise me if Cincinnati won, but I think Braves and Tennessee, they have this thing going, this attitude. I really like it. And Tannehill.
I have a hard time seeing Tennessee losing this game.
Yeah.
A very hard time seeing Tennessee losing this game.
It wouldn't surprise me because I think Cincinnati's been unbelievable, and I felt like they could be something. But, Tannehill's been there a few years now. He's very, very underrated still. Derrick Henry's back. Julio and he is kind of AB. A.J. Brown, AB. Not Antonio Brown, but A.J. Brown. I think they're very healthy, and I think the defense, Kevin Byard, I think, is probably maybe Well, he's certainly one of the most underrated defensive players in the game. I know he's been an All-Pro a few times, but I think people after they lost like Adoree Jackson, who was a speedster, and Clowney, who was there, they did get Bud Dupree from Pittsburgh, but I think people were skeptical of the defense, and they've played very well. So I think Tennessee's got this one.
I'd agree. I think just Derrick Henry coming back, I mean, that's just help within itself. I mean, the Titans were rolling without him.
Oh yeah.
Now just with him,
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole different ball game trying to play the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. I'm excited to see.
No disrespect to the Bengals. I just don't think they have enough experience to try and go against the Titans at this point in time, who actually have the experience getting to deep into the playoffs.
I'm excited to see the crowd in Nashville because I think, the Titans fan base, it's kind of like, it's not the Green Bay Packers or the Pittsburgh Steelers or, I don't know, give me a team that's the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, they're not that. But these last few years, they've been very good. I just want to see, because no one ever thinks, oh, Nashville, that's a tough place to play. Like, no one ever says that. I like to see, what the crowd's like. But I think it'll be a great game for sure. And I think Tennessee has they've had the recent postseason experience of late. I like Tennessee and Cincinnati. If they lose, nothing to hang their hats on.
Nobody expected them.
They've exceeded all expectations. They're playing. That's actually why the pressure could be on Tennessee, because Cincinnati at this point playing with house money. But I think Tennessee will rise up and move on to the championship game. We'll move on to what's the other game? Buffalo in the AFC. Buffalo, Kansas City.
That's going to be a game.
It's a bummer that this game is it's a divisional round game. It's not a championship game, because this is kind of the game. A lot of people are saying this is the Super Bowl, especially probably the people in Buffalo. I remember the picture of Stephon Diggs standing on the field watching the Chiefs celebrate, and that's becoming more and more of a thing, I think, in sports, like players like sitting down and watching the other team celebrate. And you remember that, and that sucks, especially if it was on your home field. Anyway, I think, Buffalo went to Kansas City earlier. I know it was different earlier in the year. What was it, week 4, maybe week 5, week 6, something. Buffalo went in there and owned KC. They did. Josh Allen had a fantastic game. I don't remember the stats, but I remember Buffalo had a just fantastic game offensively. This is it, man. Like, this is a game. Kansas City they're 12-5, but they've been inconsistent, obviously. But you saw against Pittsburgh, they scored 35 points in a matter of 9 minutes or whatever it was. Like, they can turn it on like that. Sorry. I don't know if are you a snapper? You snap with your index finger, right? Or are you a middle finger person?
Thumb guy.
Okay, so.
Oh, wait. Oh, you're saying like snapping.
Yeah, you do the middle finger or the index finger?
Middle.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, how did Thanos do it? I don't know. I'm the index finger, and I'm gonna stick with it.
Thanos. So you're the bad guy.
No, I'm not the bad guy.
He was an index
not the
finger.
bad guy.
You are the bad guy. You're
up. All right, whatever. Yeah. Okay. I think Buffalo. I wanna believe in Buffalo. I really want to pick Buffalo because
I'm picking Buffalo. Josh Allen all the way. That defense is insane. They're the number 1 scoring defense. They're technically the number 1 defense overall. How they have 0 Pro Bowlers is beyond
it's
me.
ridiculous.
But Jordan Poyer's an All-Pro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Micah Hyde is having an amazing season.
Former Packer grade. Yeah. I knew that. But hey, I will say that the center field interception he had, like the play, the pick off Mac Jones was incredible. That was unbelievable.
That was insane.
And who knows? Maybe it had to do with Fitzmagic being there in the crowd, going nuts with his shirt off, whatever it was. Maybe he was the good luck charm. I don't know. But it's going to be in Kansas City, and quite honestly, this is what Buffalo wanted all along. I don't think they really cared where the game was. They just wanted another chance in the playoffs against Kansas City, and
this time they'll do it on Kansas City.
Yeah,
turf.
Screw it. Well, do you have the stat? I mean, do you with the how far am I down on you in the picks game? Do you know?
You're 8 games back, and there's 7 games left.
Okay, well, That's great. That's just great. Okay, well then I'll pick Buffalo. I'll pick Buffalo. I think it's been a long time coming, and I think they're gonna avenge that loss last January. And I think Josh Allen is gonna go ballistic. Um, Kansas City, their defense definitely has turned it on. They turned it on the second half of the year. Uh, and then I don't know. I think their inconsistencies are gonna play a big part here. Um, I had they not been playing Pittsburgh last week, I think they would have been in some more trouble. But you saw that they can strike like that. So I'm going to pick Buffalo though. I'm going to pick Buffalo, but
especially coming off the perfect offensive game.
oh, that was ridiculous. Yeah, Josh Allen. He's because there's so many great. There's the Rodgers. There's Brady, Mahomes, Herbert, Joey B. Like there's so many great old and young quarterbacks out there. Josh Allen though, man. Josh Allen is he's kind of like when people were having the GOAT debates of whether it was Brady or Manning or where does Breeze fit in all this. If you're having a conversation about who the best quarterbacks are, like Josh Allen, I think is the Drew Brees in this scenario. Like people forget about him. Like people forget about how good he really is, in that sense. So Josh Allen's a stud. Yeah, give me Buffalo. Let's both roll with Buffalo. Um, let's move to the NFC. Let's start with the early game. Or no. Well, they're 2 days. Let's start with Tampa, LA. Hmm, I don't know, man, dude. I've been flip flopping on this one. When the playoffs started, I was like, okay, I think it'll be a Packers Tampa NFC Championship game again. And maybe it was because Arizona sucks, but the Rams, man, I might pick. Yeah, screw it.
They
Let's pick.
impressed. I'm going with the Rams. I'm going with the Rams.
Okay, all right, you
Dude,
go
they
first.
impressed so much, and the Bucks O line, what was it? Wirfs and Jensen both
Jensen will
got
play
a little bit banged up.
the backup right tackle. What is his name?
Wells.
Yeah.
Wells.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you know that is to take it from my experience. Like if you lose a all pro tackle in the playoffs, it's going to rear its big ugly head eventually. And I guess it was encouraging to see him go back out there against Philly when they were up by a bunch just to see if he could do it, and he just couldn't, and he left the game in a walking boot. Um, Aaron Donald got after it. I mean, those guys. Von Miller went out there and ball like Eric Weddle, ageless Eric Weddle went out there and played very well. Like the defense, Kyler Murray just looked like you know,
Jalen Ramsey's not even really hardly talked
yeah.
about anymore.
And
he's still locking people down.
Oh yeah. He is. He's. I love Jair Alexander. I love Jair Alexander so much. And we it's because he didn't play this year. That's why I'm saying that, or he didn't play a bunch this year. Like seeing so much of Jalen Ramsey, he is a stud. I mean, Jalen Ramsey is unbelievable. He's arguably the best cornerback in the game because I love Jair Alexander. But Jalen Ramsey's just he can lock up anyone. We'll see about Devontae Adams, but he can. I mean, he's unbelievable. Arizona. No one could get open. Like, I mean, I'm watching the Manning cast and, The Rock is giving them this inspirational speech, like trying to get them hyped or whatever, or just trying to get them to do something. And, Kyler almost gets this, almost is sacked for safety. Instead, just throws an underhand like he's playing bags, throws an underhand toss for a pick six. I mean, it was ugly.
Well, would you take the safety in that scenario?
I know it's hard because I'm not in this position. But I don't know why Kyler didn't just like throw it into the ground. Like I know I'm not in that situation, and I know
because he has to get it back to the line of scrimmage.
Unless like if there's someone if there's someone in the area that's like you can throw it before the line of scrimmage even if it's not past it, right?
Well, if the running back's in the area or the tight end or whoever, but no receiver, no eligible receiver was close to him.
I'll have to go back and watch that.
Besides the person they threw it to.
Yeah. No, it's a tough. If you can throw it, then yes, obviously take the safety. But the Rams just had it all locked up. I mean, they couldn't get off. I mean, I don't know what happened with AJ Green. Like AJ Green had a rebirth this year. Like I think he, from those last few years in Cincinnati, he was hurt and wasn't really doing much. Certainly had a much improved year this year, but there were just some plays that kind of, you know, I don't know, like the play. I want to say it was in the second quarter. Like we needed to see Arizona get it going a little bit. AJ Green caught it, and then like it was the incomplete pass. I thought he caught. I mean, do you know what play I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah.
he caught it. He got 2 feet down, and then he gets hit in the ball jar. I thought it was a catch and a fumble, but it's incomplete pass. But like, you know, I just needed to see more of AJ Green this year. I needed to see more of him. I thought him and Hopkins, and you have Rondale Moore, guys like hell, even Andy Isabella, like they have speed.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah, I don't know why I forgot. I mean, they're so well rounded. I thought they would come to pass. I thought AJ Green would be great this year, especially in the postseason when they needed him to be, and he just wasn't. He wasn't the Cincinnati Bengals AJ Green. So they just couldn't get much going. James Conner wasn't. When you're down 20, 23 points, like the running game isn't. It's not going to do much for you. And Arizona's defense. It's good to see Budda Baker. He was at the hospital like in good spirits. Now he's going back to Arizona. Good to see him. Good spirits, up and around, moving. That's a scary hit. But yeah, Arizona, like you want to believe they improved. So from the Steve Wilkes era, they were terrible. Josh Rosen. Other than the fact that he went up to Lambeau and somehow beat the Packers, I don't even know why I brought that up. The Steve Wilkes era, they were 3-13, right? They were terrible. And Steve Keim, GM of Cardinals, turns everything around. Hire Kingsbury, which I was excited about because I knew when he was at Texas Tech, like he was okay. The Big 12 defenses suck, but I knew Kingsbury could bring something, that Mahomes offense, to the Arizona Cardinals. You have Kyler Murray, you have the opportunity. They have something out there. You bring in J.J. Watt. By the way, shout out to him for trying to at least make a comeback and play in this game. It was big time. But it felt like they had everything to be special. They did. And they've certainly turned things around. Last year, they were 1 game away. They get hurt, and then they missed the postseason because I think they went out to L.A. They lost to John Wolford, the backup quarterback of the Rams, because Goff was hurt.
That's right.
Kyler actually got hurt in that game. Kyler got hurt, but then came back. It was too late. So they lose, and the Rams got in. But this time around, so they improve. It's all about taking it one step at a time. So this year they make the playoffs, unlike last year. However, they were 6-1, like they were great. They were the best team, and we were saying earlier in the year. And then, like Pittsburgh last year, they just kind of fell off towards the end.
They fell apart. They had nothing going for them.
Yeah. The Hopkins injury is massive. That's such a big, losing your star receiver like this, because Kyler Murray, it's not like it's Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. Like, those guys know how to play without their number one guy. They do. Like, they've shown how to do it. Kyler's still a young guy, and that reared its big ugly head too. Like, they had no one. So LA, deservedly so, moving on. And against the Bucs, man, this is going to be a great game.
This is going to be a fantastic game.
No, obviously no AB, no Godwin. We'll see about Fournette. I know he was held out of the game. We'll see about Wirfs.
Stafford with 0 picks against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Is that a good sign?
I don't know, man. 17 picks on the year. That's not hey, but against the Bucs, when they played in what week when was that? Was that week 3? Week 2, week 3? It was
that was early.
It was early on, and they demolished them. I mean, they owned the Bucs. And that was with that was the game Gronk got hurt, but they had Mike Evans, they had Gronk, AB, they had everyone, and they got housed. The Rams have an attitude. The Rams, I mean, when they're on, man, they're on. So I'm going to pick the LA Rams. I'm going to go with you. They're playing ferocious right now. McVay has this thing where he goes into the end zone to celebrate with the team, and he's always, doing the double fist bumps, and he's just,
getting the boys hyped.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just getting the boys hyped.
Him and staff. It's always so cool seeing coaches, like young coaches anyway, like talk like LaFleur and Aaron, or again McVay, and staff are just like, they're like buddies, and they're talking like, hey, how can I, how can we go from this drive to this drive? How can we find a way to put the ball in the end zone? Like on this play, where can I put the ball so OBJ can go up and get it? Like, obviously, I don't know if that's
OBJ. How about a rebirth for that
they
guy?
had
I
they
mean,
drug
ever
tested
since
him.
he went to LA, I know, I know, I saw
They
that.
drug tested him.
But ever since he went to LA, I mean, it took him a couple of weeks to get like going.
Yeah,
But once he started getting going, what is it? The last like what 4 weeks or so?
he has
That
6 tuds,
dude is
six
just
tuds, 7 tuds, more than he had in Cleveland. I don't know if it's his entire time in Cleveland, but it's obviously more than this year for sure. Yeah, obviously more than this year. So he's been big time. Cooper Cup's unbelievable, man. Tyler Higbee's been an unsung hero for them. I think as a tight end, he's just been unbelievable. He really has.
absolutely.
Their O-line, Whitworth.
You get Cam Akers back.
Oh yeah, Cam
You get
Akers.
Cam Akers back to match with Sony Michel, who's been running the lights out.
Yeah. I mean, they still have Darrell Henderson too, isn't he? Their RB3 maybe now.
Yeah,
They still. I mean, yeah, they've that's a nice trio right there. Whitworth came back in the game, right? I know he got hurt on like the first play, right, or the
I
second
believe
play,
so.
but he
I
came
believe
back in.
so.
Yeah, so that's important for them. He's obviously, what is he, the first offensive lineman ever to play into his 40s? Unbelievable. He looks like he's 60. He's got the gray beard. He's a big dude. It's great. But yeah, they played well, and that was a game that they need. Stafford, his first career playoff win, which you and I know for seeing him so many years in the North. We knew he was better than no playoff wins, or we knew he was better than one Pro Bowl appearance. Like, we knew that was Matthew Stafford was.
Absolutely.
And Aaron said that on on Pat McAfee's show a couple of times. He's been like, hey, who doesn't get enough credit is that guy up in Detroit who can absolutely spin it, and he can. So I'm happy for Matthew. He's a very good player. I mean, I saw some stats like Vince Young has more Pro Bowl appearances than Matthew Stafford, or just other guys. It's unbelievable. So Stafford, happy for him to get his first career playoff win. And yeah, I like the Rams. I think the Rams go in there and beat Tom, which is crazy. But it's possible. It is possible. Should we move on?
Yep.
You tell me your thoughts on my team. What do you think?
It's insanely hard to beat them, but at the same time, the 49ers have the recipe to beat them. Like, the 49ers are the worst team to see in the playoffs. Regular season, like, if you can keep the 49ers out of the playoffs, that's a huge benefit to so many teams. But, like, how we talked for when they got matched up against the Cowboys is basically how I feel for them getting matched up against the Packers.
Yep, it's great. Sorry, I have this photo. I don't know. Is it supposed to be in a briefcase? I don't know. I think this is from. There's this. Have you ever been to Sarasota, Florida? Yeah, you have, probably. Maybe. No.
Yeah.
There's this place. Have you heard of St. Armand's Circle?
Yeah.
Fantastic place. And there's so many shops and stores. This, I believe, came from this store. Like, I forgot what it's called, but they're like these photos like this, like in stadiums, or it's like a crazy sports stadium, picture store or whatever. Got that from there. Anyway, there's no room for me to put it up as my backdrop. Whatever. It doesn't. Stupid. Here's what I'll say. I think. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, it was bothering me. Look, I'm nervous because it's my team, and I love them, and I think more often than not, man, you just in sports, you root for the people. Like, you root so much. Like, you love your team because especially like if you've known them for a while, you root for the people in the jerseys, and you root for the people who are coaching. If you love them because you just want them to be successful, because over time, whether it's stories you hear in the locker room, or mic'd up moments or stuff like that, or just relationships you see, you root for the people. That's how it is. And we all know Aaron Rodgers is better than one Super Bowl, and we all know that this team is probably the best team in the league. And we've thought that for the last while, and they've only won one in the last 12 years or whatever it's been. With Aaron. So San Francisco is a tough matchup. San Francisco is a very tough matchup. They run the ball so well. However, I will say this: they, in Matt LaFleur's time, the San Francisco 49ers have never come to Lambeau Field. They have not. They've played all their games out in the Bay Area, and the last time they came to Lambeau, it was McCarthy. It was McCarthy's last year, and there was Rodgers. I think they won 33-30 against C.J. Beathard, but it was a crazy Monday night game where Rodgers found, Devontae on a crazy third or fourth down in the back of the end zone with a dart, and it was Crosby kicking the game-winning field goal. But there have been a lot of close games between these teams, or at least it feels like they've all been in close games throughout the season. I think the Packers are still, they have a bad taste in their mouth from that championship game a few years ago. Because a couple of these games,
2019.
yeah, okay. It felt like last year during the COVID year when they went out to San Francisco, it didn't feel like a payback game because the Niners had COVID and injuries, and it just didn't feel like it. The Packers handled them. It didn't really feel like anything. This year, it was great to kind of go out there. Watching that game, by the way, that was the most, like, when Crosby drilled that field goal, I wasn't just like, joyful, like happy. Dude, I was like pissed happy. Like I was like, let's go. Like I was like punching my brothers because I was, my little brother was afraid. Like I can't watch this. Like I can't watch Crosby miss this. And he drilled it. And it was because it was a moment because the Niners were a tough team and they're physical and they kicked our ass. But we were able to beat them. And now we're at Lambeau. The Bosa, Fred Warner injuries are massive. We're going to see here. I think Fred Warner will play, with a low ankle sprain he has, but I think he'll play. Bosa, these short weeks. The Niners have a short week here. It's already Wednesday. Concussion protocol is interesting because these days build up, and you look at the time. It's like, okay, it's Wednesday. Well, we got to get on the plane on Friday. Practicing, all that stuff. So. I think again, you don't play in these games very often. I think Bosa is going to play.
As long as he's cleared, he's going to play.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And it's just going to be the Packers are at full strength. They're getting Zadarius Smith, David Bakhtiari, Jair Alexander, Randall Cobb, Billy Turner, David Moore, who they've added on punt return a couple weeks ago. Who am I missing? His Darius Whitney Merciless, who tore his bicep earlier in the year, said, told his coaches afterwards, like, hey, I'm going to come back. And he did. He's back. They have all these guys back, man. And, I think they have a confidence about them. And this is the best team they've had with LaFleur. I think this could be the best team they've had with Aaron. We'll find out. But who are you picking?
I'm going with the Niners. I can't go for the Packers. No way can I go for the Packers. Are you kidding me?
Have the liquor in here? Whatever. No, whatever. So, are you picking them like kind of because like you think they could upset them, but also because you don't like the Packers? Is that why?
Primarily because I don't like the Packers, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. Look, I think the Packers are going to win. I'm nervous, and I'll probably shit my pants, before the game starts. Probably during the game. Mostly during the game. It'll probably happen. But I think Aaron is going to have a great game. I think the O-line is really going to – I mean, this is the first time they're all playing together kind of in a while with Bakhtiari, not playing this whole year. So I think the Packers – it could be close. It would not surprise me if it was maybe like a 28-24 kind of game, stuff like that. But the key is for the Green Bay Packers to start off hot, and that means put a touchdown on the board first. Or if they don't get the ball first, get a stop. Because the Packers a lot of times start off down 7-0, and sure, they find a way to flip the field and get the ball to start. They end up cruising to a win. They've got to avoid starting off down 7-0. Because then the Niners are going to run the ball, get creative. When you're down, if the Packers are up 21-7 in the second half, it'll be like, okay, well, now Jimmy G has to pass it. And, I know Garoppolo played in New England, played at Eastern Illinois. He knows the cold, but, like, he's never played in an NFL game that's under 40 degrees. He's never played at Lambeau before. He also has a torn shoulder and a broken thumb. And that's not even like, they're going to run the ball regardless, even if he was healthy. Or that's just what they do. Deebo Samuel's a friggin' nightmare. He's
Last time they played the Packers in the playoffs, he only threw the ball 8 times.
Yep. And I will say that the Packers, the run defense, they held the Niners to did I hear, was it this morning, 67 rushing yards the last time they played. So they did their thing, man. They did their thing. But again, it's the playoffs, and it's, the run game travels in the playoffs. So we're going to find out here. But you know that scene on this, that scene in The Rise of Skywalker when after, Rey is burning the TIE fighter and she's going to, just say, screw it, I'm done being a Jedi, F this, like the Antonio Brown situation a couple weeks ago. And Luke comes out of the fire of the or the TIE fighter, whatever ship she takes, and they're talking about, I don't want to go back, I'm afraid, whatever. And then she decides, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go fight the Emperor. And she's like, I have no idea how to get there. And Luke is like, you have everything you need. That is how I felt last year. That's how I felt last year. But then I realized something. We didn't have a full crowd. It was 40 degrees or 35 degrees against the Bucks in the championship game. Like, we didn't have it. This year, I think we finally have everything we need. And it's just football. It's just a game. But, I love it. I love it. And I really think this is the year. I really believe it. And this actually, it could be a special. I mean, this might be one of the greatest seasons ever for a team, considering everything they've gone through. Like, or not what they've gone through, but like injuries. Like everyone's saying shit about Aaron. The media saying shit. Oh, Aaron doesn't. First off, Aaron owes you guys nothing. Number two, if Aaron wins the MVP, LaFleur wins Coach of the Year, which we'll see what happens. We said Vrabel's unbelievable. Gutekunst could win GM or Executive of the Year, whatever. Like, it could be special. So I'm hoping it all lines up. And I honestly would say, I would definitely, if you told me, like, if the Packers win this Super Bowl, but they have 2 straight losing seasons or whatever happens, I might take that. I really would. I want it so bad. And it's not like, I know what you've gone through as a Bears fan. Like, you guys, it's been a long time, but like,
I cannot wait till Raj is gone.
no, I'm not. Okay. Yeah, I know you can't. I know. But like I'm saying, like we should have more than one Super Bowl. We should, in Aaron's time and Brett's time, you should have had more than one or whatever. This drought is different because, like, we feel like we should have had more, and we still have a chance to get more, but it's got to be now. And if that means we're gonna be irrelevant for the next year or two or three, F it, so be it. Like, let's just go get this one. I don't care. Like, I just want Aaron to get that second one because it puts you in a whole different category. Because everyone knows how great he is, right? At least I hope they do. As a person, as a player. So we'll see, man. But I got the Packers. You have Niners, Rams in the championship game. I have Packers, Rams, and then AFC. We both have Titans,
Bills.
Yeah. So gonna be fun, man. Gonna be fun to see what happens. Hey, before we go, what do you think? So, I was listening. I was talking so quickly there. I was listening to the Pat McAfee show earlier today. Of course, greatest show on TV. Go watch it. Seriously, I know you watch it. I'm just speaking to the one person out there who's watching this. So they were talking about Rich Bisaccia. He had to go for an interview. Which is ridiculous because he has been interviewing for the last 6 or 7 weeks and he led them to the playoffs. He should have the job. Like, he
should have the job. Yeah. There's no question about it. He leads the guys to the point with everything that went on throughout this entire season. I'm surprised that they even got to the playoffs. Bisaccia is a guy that will continue to motivate those guys, and those guys really like him.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest test. So if he's going to be the one to motivate them and they're going to play for him, why don't you keep him around?
How many coaches take time after the season's over to write letters to every single player saying thank you? How about that? Handwritten. They didn't type it. They did not use a computer or a laptop or an iPad.
Well, I mean, you can type out something and then print so many copies, or you can type out something and just send an email to everybody. I mean, a handwritten note these days, I mean, it's a lot bigger deal than just writing an email.
Handwritten notes. Perfect. Yeah, but he deserves. I mean, I think I tweeted this. Like Mark Davis's decision. I said this about the Mike Mayock firing, which I think was ridiculous. But Mark Davis firing Mike Mayock was on par with Mark Davis deciding to stick with his current haircut style. It's terrible. It's ridiculous. Mike Mack, he did as good of a job as you can. I mean, maybe it was because maybe he was linked to Gruden, and that's what, maybe they wanted to get rid of that. I don't know. I think it was.
It was definitely because he was linked to Gruden.
Yeah.
It was 100% because he was linked to Gruden.
I think that was a poor move, but at the very least, I think Mark Davis can kind of salvage it, and I think he should fire. Well, no, he should keep Bisaccia. Keep it. He's unbelievable job. So. With that said, the Green Bay Packers are going to win the Super Bowl. Oh, gosh. Please, God, please, just let them win the Super Bowl. I don't want nothing else in the world more than the Green Bay Packers Super Bowl. But with that said, it's 5 o'clock on the dot. Let's have a week. Go watch Mandalorian. We talked about that.
Right. Peace out, my guy.